welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Tech Guy. So I've got something different for you guys on my channel. So in this video I'm going to be putting together a budget gaming PC. So guys, let's get started. So what we have here is the B450 Tomahawk Max motherboard, and it supports Ryzen 3000 series. So let's get this opened up. Okay, so we have a main board. And what's underneath? Instructions. More instructions. No idea what that is. Sticker. Promotion booklet. MSI driver CD. SATA cable. I/O shield. And M.2 stand-up screws. Okay, so this is the main board, and let's get it out. So make sure you hold it from the edge. Okay, so that's what the main board looks like. Okay, so I'm gonna put it on top of the box. It's always recommended to have your main board on top of the box or on a wooden surface. Never ever work on a carpet, as that would conduct static electricity. So guys, let's put this board together. So we'll start with the CPU. So I've got the AMD Ryzen 3600 6-core and 12 threads. Okay, so let's get it out of the box. Okay, I'm only going to be using the CPU, as I've got my own RGB CPU fan. So that's the CPU. And if I turn it over and get closer, you've got the gold arrow pointing the other way. So basically this would sit on the main board where the arrow is pointing the other way as well. So if I just bring it closer, as you can see, we've got an arrow there, and that's where the arrow on the CPU will face the arrow on the main board. Okay, so to put the CPU in, you just need to lift the lever up. Just gonna get the CPU out. So you've got to be very gentle with the CPU, as you don't want to bend the pins. Always hold it on the side. So I'm just gonna turn it around and get the gold arrow facing the arrow on there. So I can lever up. So all you have to do is just drop it in. That's it. Do not do anything else. Don't wobble it, as that will bend the pins. So we just need to put the lever down, gently tucked under. There we go. So that's that done. So the next, I'm going to do the Hyper CPU. It's 16 gig DDR4, 3200 megahertz clock speed. Okay, so let's just take it out of the box. There we go. So it's always, if you've got 4 CPU slots, you always use the second and the fourth one. And if you've got two and you've got two CPU, you can obviously use the two CPU slots. Okay, so if I just do that, okay, you can probably see the slot. That slot needs to go on the slot here, so make sure it's lined up. In it goes. Then what you looking for is the clicks. So gently push it down. There we go. And that's the other click. And I'm gonna put in the second CPU. That will go in the fourth slot. In. Click. Maybe it's the wrong way around. Let's put it the right way around. Perfect. So that's the CPU in. So next thing, what I'll do is I'll get the Samsung's Evo M.2 250 GB SSD drive, and that would basically go here. Okay, let's get this taken out. Okay. So this will line up on this side. Okay, we just need to move the stand up one hold down. Got. So I've moved the stand up screw down, and now this will slot in and down. So we just need to get that screw. Okay, so it's a screw, then I need a magnetic Phillips screwdriver. You don't really need to tighten it, you just need to gently screw it down until you can't go any further. That's it. Okay, so let's get the CPU fan in. This is the RGB CPU fan, so basically it lights up. You don't really need to apply any heatsink, as this one already comes with the heatsink. So just need to have the AMD logo pointing the other way. So that will just sit here. Okay. Just need to line this up. It's quite fidgety, this. Okay, we got. Then we need to plug in the other end of the cable into the CPU pin. Okay, so here we go. That plugs in there. So that's the main board ready, and it's ready to go in the ATX case. Okay guys, so this is what your setup should look like. So I've got the AMD RGB CPU fan, and on the other side I've got two memory sticks. I did mention that they were CPU, so apologies there, my mistake. So these are DDR4 clock speed 3200, 16 gig. Memory sticks. If I work my way down onto the bottom of the main board, that's where the my M.2 SSD is currently being connected up. Okay, so I've managed to get the motherboard in, and I've also connected up the additional cables to the motherboard. So obviously I've got the extension cable there, and I've also got the CPU extension cable there, and also I've got the front power LED and USB cables plugged in, but it was kind of difficult to get it in as the main board is touching the bottom of the ATX case. Otherwise the ATX case isn't that bad, but if you've got big hands, then it could be a bit of a problem getting the cables into the pins. Okay, next task is to get the graphics card in. I managed to get all the cables plugged in, but it was quite tricky, so I'm going to get the graphics card plugged in and out of the way before I plug in the power supply. So let's get this unboxed. We got instructions and drivers in here. Thank you for purchasing graphics card. And here comes the big boy. Okay, so let's put it out the way. There we go. Okay, so that's the graphics card going into the PC. It's the GeForce GTX 1050 Ti 4GB. Okay. Let's get that out of the way. Okay, next step to get the graphics card in. So I'll probably suggest putting the graphic card down on the main board and work out which strips to move from the case. So I've already moved two of the screws from the metal strip, so hopefully they should just slide off. Okay, so that's come off. Then go back to your graphics card, then slowly gently lower it in. And then press it down, and hopefully it should just click in. Just listen for that click, and then plug your power cable in. Okay. Then obviously screw both of the ends down so the graphics card isn't moving. So let's put first of the screws in. Then the second screw. Okay, so that's the graphics card in. Time to hook up the power supply. So I've got the Corsair TX650M. So let's get this unboxed. It's the TXM series. So let's see what we've got in here. Obviously instructions, power lead, And the other cable that needs to get plugged into the power supply. Okay, we've got cable ties with some screws. Then we've got the power supply. Okay, so we've got 24 pin and we've got 8 pin. Then the rest what I need, I can plug it in. Okay, so I probably would need the SATA cable and PCIe cable. They're the only two I need, so I'll be plugging them in soon. Okay, I managed to get the ATX 650 watt power supply in. I had to do this offline as it was quite fidgety, and then again, this is my first gaming PC build. I've not built a PC for 13 years, so obviously this is the 220T RGB case, and the power supply has gone in. So if I just show you the cable coming out the power supply. So that's the cables. Okay, so hopefully I should do the cable management right at the end once I have connected the power cable up and tested to see all is working fine. So next step, to get the graphics card in. Okay, so here's my first attempt of cable management.